Alright guys, so I'm going to be doing another set of Patreon requests, and this one, to start things off, we're going to start off with a show review from a request from Christopher Rosa, who asked me to do a series review that I had not heard of. I had to dig up episodes in order to watch this. This is why it took so long. But as always, if you guys would like to have a Patreon request done, just hit the link below, head on over to my Patreon, where you guys can start sending me requests for videos to do here on YouTube. But other than that, hope y'all enjoyed this. Let's get started with the video. So, the show is called Saving Me. The story is basically about this young kid who encounters an older version of himself who is trying to, like, change him. Like, basically, like, in the future, he becomes, like, a total asshole with no friends. And more or less what he's trying to do is change his older self is trying to change change his future, you know, basically change his timeline so that he will have friends in the future. And, you know, he'll be happier in the future. That's really the story. Like, that's the story in general. It's a Canadian cartoon, and I don't think it's ever been premiered here in America. I don't know if, like, maybe there's some TV station, maybe... I would have said Teletoon, but Teletoon is apparently gone. So, I don't know what the story is for that, but yeah. The show, let me just get this out of the way. The show is very much like Rick and Morty. It's very Rick and Morty-esque. It's like Rick and Morty for kids, and it actually shares a lot of striking similarities to another show that's now premiering called another new show called what is it? Haley's on It on Disney. It's literally the same thing. It's the only difference is one's a girl and a female protagonist, the other is a male protagonist, and the other one involved and it's very like I said, it's very Rick and Morty-esque in that it has these kind of like wacky out there adventures that really just go completely fucking batshit. Like, they are very like these just off the wall batshit ideas that really just go completely all over the place. A lot of the humor is fun. I do think that some of the humor is a little forced at times. I do think that this show, I do think it has like several good jokes here and there, but really, like, it's nothing really to crow about. It's nothing really to make me want to keep watching. I watched about 5 episodes before. That's why it took me so long. I had to like sit down and commit to like sitting down and watching this series. I just had to be like, all right, I want to see what the big deal is. I really want to see what this whole I want to see what this whole deal is. I'm very curious to see how this will play out. I'm very curious to see how this will, you know, leave a mark, all that good stuff. But yeah, as I watched it, I was like, man, there are some good jokes, and I do like a lot of the plot. There are a lot of like good, there are some good ideas involving time travel, alternate universes, stuff like that. But it's nothing we haven't really seen before. However, it's not as spiteful as Rick and Morty has become. Like, it's very much like, it's not in the sense of like, it's not being like incredibly like, you know, fuck you, you know, you're stupid for watching this, as for like, you know, kind of like what Rick and Morty has become in the latest seasons, where it's more or less like, you know, go fuck yourself, you're stupid for liking these things. That's why, real quick, just sidebar, that's one of the reasons why I stopped watching Rick and Morty, was because it's become so fucking mean-spirited these past few seasons, and gross. Like, it depends more on gross-out humor than some of the clever writing, and also, again, it makes you just feel like you're stupid for watching this, for liking things. It just makes you want to, like, I really do feel like more than half the people, I'm just throwing this out here, the people who, like, say, like, the MCU is dead, and, like, oh, the MCU hasn't been good since Endgame, or, like, the, you know, superhero movies are dumb, how much you bet they got a lot of that from, like, they just watched Rick and Morty and were like, I suddenly feel sophisticated. I'm not a total asshole who lives in his mother's fucking basement and has, you know, and has no goddamn life because I'm a fucking miserable piece of shit. Totally not, yeah. So, it's kind of a nice palate cleanser to have kind of the same themes as Rick and Morty and not be as spiteful about it. But having said that, though, I don't know if this show's for me. It is fun, don't get me wrong, but it just feels like I just couldn't connect with it personally. I really couldn't connect with Saving Me. It is a cool premise, don't get me wrong. It is a cool premise of this guy trying to change, like, basically he's trying to be his own ghost of Christmas future. Like, that's his thing. Is like he's literally. Again, I understand that was a Doctor Who plot, but yeah, it really does feel like. It really does feel like it is very much. It was a Doctor Who plot, and I do like the idea of this guy trying to be his own, like, Jacob Marley to his younger selves, Ebenezer Scrooge. I do like that, but for me, I just couldn't click with it. Would I watch it again? Maybe, if I am in the right mindset, but it's not going to be like a show I'm going to be I just forgot what that word. It's been a long day. I've had a stressful few days, so I wouldn't, like, actively seek this out, you know. But anyway, so there you go, guys. That is my quick review of the show Saving Me. Let me know if you've watched the show or if you're a big fan of it. I don't hate it. It's just like I was just like, it's all right. But yeah. And once again, I'd like to thank Christopher Rosa for sending me this review. And as always, his Patreon request and continued patronage. And like I said before, if you guys would like to have a Patreon request done, just hit the link below. Head on over to my Patreon. You guys can start sending me requests for videos to do here on YouTube. But other than that, hope y'all enjoyed this. I'm Mr. Multiverse. I'll see you next time in the Multiverse.